Larry Asego, thank you for coming and welcome. I think by way of introduction for you, we should show a short clip of you in action in one of your incarnations in life. Here we go.
Kibera is the best neighborhood in the world. Some people think that when you go to Kibera, you go to die. That there's a committee of guys waiting for you at the matatu stage with knives. The moment you step out, come on, welcome to Kibera. Hey, welcome to Kibera. Hey, welcome to Kibera. It doesn't happen like that. Kibera is the best neighborhood in the world. You just have to know where to be at what time.
So, there you are, BBK, born and bred in Kibera.
Yep.
I think, Larry, by definition, you're still a young man. You're a radio presenter, a family man,
Yep.
teacher of French. But I want us to talk about this role, the comedian. Surely the comedian in Kenyan society is the joker, the person one doesn't take quite seriously, the person who is remained infantile. Do you take this on board as a criticism?
Not necessarily, because comedians have different faces. There is the comedian who will dress up to make other people laugh. There's a comedian who is going to hit on issues but try and find the humor side of it. Because society is wide. You have to find the humor side of everything that you do. Doesn't mean you have to be childish. Unless you're going to be performing in front of kids, then you have to be childish. The comedian, it's serious business. Doesn't have to necessarily be childish.
Is this part of our presumed African culture, or again are we copying? Was there always an aspect of, because I have a difficulty, Larry, with us saying let's be ourselves and then doing things that we never did when we...
No, to be a comedian, there is this aspect of being able to narrate a story. Africans are very good storytellers. We're the best storytellers in the world. Now, tell that story, but find the funny side of it. Of course, we are going to adapt a few things here and there, copy a few things from the West to try and see if it's going to bring the commercial aspect of it. Because it's all nice and dandy to tell stories, but at the end of the day, if your stories are not getting you financial assistance, what's the point of telling the story? So you might copy something from the West that is to bring the commercial aspect of it, but by nature, African storytelling is our forte.
In the clip that we've just seen,
Yeah.
you're making the comparison between a sort of leafy suburbs existence versus living in an estate.
Yes.
Do you see where your roots are as a sort of badge of courage? Should we treat you with kid gloves because you grew up in Kibera?
No, not necessarily. Society is unfair. Not everybody can be on the same pedestal, okay? The class theory has it that, of course, there has to be the elite, there has to be the person working. Don't treat the person from Kibera with, like white gloves, handled with care. But there's this misconception that anytime everybody goes to Kibera, people are waiting for you at the bus stop with knives to kill you. That is just wrong. It's a mentality that is wrong. Treat people from Kibera fairly, but also treat them with the respect that they deserve. Okay, when the good things come to town, for example, when nice roads are being built, the first place all these nice roads will go is the leafy suburbs. That's why they're leafy in the first place. Kibera is going to be, last on the list of getting this nice stuff. So at one point, yes, you might say that, we want fairness.
Kibera is not absolutely a slum. You're not a slum dweller. We're not talking Madare here.
No.
So what are you going to say about that, Larry?
Kibera is not a slum.
Right, okay. But let's go to the slums. What do you have to offer for them? Does your product as a comedian, life is so hard, you're going to go there and make people laugh?
Yes. Why not? The thing is this, for example, anytime you go to the slum, what is the most common thing that NGOs do in the slum? For the longest time, they've been building toilets, right? Yes, the flying toilets problem is there. But how many toilets are you going to build? Why don't you build me a house with a toilet inside? Why don't you build me a school with a toilet inside? You're not going to build a toilet and then you're going to launch a toilet. That's a problem. Okay, it's only in Kenya you're going to have a politician come and launch a toilet. So the slum itself, you can make them laugh at themselves. You're like, yes, you people are, having flying toilets. They do it. It's something that happens to them every single day, but you have to find the humor side of it, and that's why the comedian art comes out.
So you're trying to suggest that the comedian is indeed thinking deep thoughts, Larry. You're a thinker, you're a poet before you go off and make fun of things. So are you thinking deep thoughts about this whole notion in our society of hate speech?
You have to find a hate speech by definition. What is hate speech? What somebody
so-
considers hate speech, somebody else
So
considers
when you
freedom
read
of
in the
speech.
papers, it's so the politicians are being upbraided for employing hate speech. Do you think that this is actually something that you can quantify and say, oh, that's hate speech?
No, you cannot quantify hate speech. You can quantify incitement. You can't quantify hate speech. So when politicians go, when Kibunja, the lovely gentleman, goes ahead with this commission to say that is hate speech, there is nowhere you can actually draw the line to say this is hate speech because you haven't defined it. Okay, we've given them the work as a commission to do something, told them that, hey, go ahead and fight hate speech, but they haven't defined what hate speech is. What I consider hate speech, somebody else considered freedom of expression, and that's why it's actually very difficult to prosecute hate speech. Who has been prosecuted so far? Nobody. You apologize and you move on. Nobody has been prosecuted for hate speech.
Do you incorporate ethnic jokes in your routines?
I try to avoid ethnic jokes as much as I can because I'm trying to appeal to a broader audience than that. I'm trying to appeal to a more international audience and not just a Kenyan audience, because the ethnic jokes and stereotypes have been done by the comedians, and if you want to create a niche, you have to think outside ethnicity. Yeah, we have very many ethnic stereotypes that are hilarious. I mean, they're one-liners, they're punchlines that will get everybody cracking every other day. But what you think might be fun in terms of ethnicity, somebody else might, find offense in it. So I try and stay away from ethnicity as much as I can.
So what, I'm keen on that word,
Yeah,
offense. There's there's belief systems, religion, sexual orientation, political affiliation. All these things, Larry, make people very sensitive about them. They always
True.
say in a conversation you should avoid politics, religion, and sex.
Yeah.
So what's left for you to make people laugh about?
Not always.
What is your niche area?
Not always avoid sex. I mean, don't go graphic on it. Okay. Imply something. Then let them come up with their own conclusion in their head. Go to that gray area and then let it hang. Okay.
Whom do you presume your audience to be? Let's assume that you're there.
Yeah.
We're a nation. We're Kenya.
Yes.
Is Larry Asego's type of humor only palatable by the metropolitan, the urban elite? Or should the barefoot village schoolboy whose hair has been shaved completely, otherwise he won't be allowed to go to class, should he also be listening to Larry? And what's he going to take away as a message?
The thing is, for the urban elite, that one, I think that is where my act is headed towards. For the village boy, as you say, who is a barefoot,
Or girl?
or girl for that matter, who is barefoot, it might be tricky to appeal to every single audience. So you actually just choose which audience you want to appeal to and go to that audience. And at the end of the day, everybody keeps saying that you're doing the arts for the love of it. But if it's not paying, there come a time where you just say that, listen, I love the art, but I have to eat. So the urban elite, as we put it, they will pay for a show. They will pay to come for a show. Now, unless you go to the village and go and do community theater, that's a different thing.
I'm sort of unhappy because, again, the largest demographic is being ignored.
Yeah.
We're talking about change. We're talking about Vision 2030. We're talking about a population of 40 million people. And you're saying that your niche market is going to be maybe so many thousand. I know you can come back to me, Larry, and say, let other people do that. But who is going to address the concerns of the Wananchi, the Raia? We talk about them, but do nothing for them that is very, very practical.
There is the next comedian who is going to do that. Okay? And the next comedian and the next comedian. Because unless you can actually relate, okay, to that village boy or girl, for that matter, with their issues that they face every single day, there is nothing you're telling them. Okay? So the thing is, go there. You can try and, I hate this word, but try and empower them. Okay? Come up with a day, the open day, say that all comedians, if you think you can make people laugh, come on stage. We're going to have a prize at the end of the day. So they can actually make the other people in the neighborhood laugh.
Right. let's talk about, we're still in the village, Larry, and we
Yeah.
have a problem such as two problems. Open defecation, which is the sort of nice, candid way of putting it. Open
Yep.
defecation, people who might decide to relieve themselves, to urinate, people, young girls who might not be, they're having their periods, but they don't have sanitary pads. All these are crucial
True.
areas of, and I'm suggesting that you could do more than just entertain the urban elite. Can't you up your game somewhat?
No, you can up your game, but for you to be able to do something for that girl who maybe cannot afford the sanitary pads, you have to go to the elite because they are the ones who have the money.